All right, everybody. This evening we are joined by George Mason head coach Sean Camp, as well as student athletes Sal Timball and Connor Dykstra. We will start with an opening statement from coach and then take questions from student athletes.
Thank you. Tonight's game was, we missed some opportunities early in the game to capitalize, especially in the first inning, not plugging two away there in a situation that we could have. I think it kind of swung the momentum, obviously, their side. They're an incredible team. I mean, that's the best college baseball team I've seen this year. Their pitching is outstanding. They're going to shut you down. They don't really give you any wiggle room for anything. So it's a credit to Coach Walters and their staff for doing a tremendous job. But I'm proud of our guys. I'm really proud of our guys. We were sitting in a place tonight that I don't think anybody that would have dreamed of us being there or put their name on that George Mason would be sitting among the top 32 teams playing in a regional.
Questions for the student athlete?
You've been the backstop, you've been the backbone of this team all year, and a part of the team that's really changed the precedent of George Mason baseball. What's that mean to you, your brothers, that moving forward, this is now the new expectation?
No, it's awesome. When I came here 2 years ago, under Coach Camp, he told me that we were going to turn this place around, and honestly, looking back at it, I would not have chosen any other way. It's just the guys that we have. I wouldn't want to go to battle with anybody else. And my brothers, and we're going to keep going.
Anything else for the student athletes?
Yeah, Sal, lucky enough to see you play this team for a really long time. You were there when it was bad, you didn't know when it was good. Obviously, hitting the top line, playing a ton of different positions. What's it mean to play for this guy? Really embody what this guy, Coach Camp, has brought to this program.
No, it's great. Everything, ever since just playing for him, ever since the fall, he laid out a vision, and it's been a pleasure playing for him up to this point. And, we executed this year. No one thought we'd get to where we were. And, our team had high expectations, and that's all that mattered. And it's just, I'm great we got to this point. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but like you said earlier, it sets a new expectation for the program.
Plus,
Yeah, just for both you guys, just walk me through the range of emotions going from a walk-off win, and the bottom of the ninth, to then have to turn around, just 55 minutes later to face the #1 team in the country. How did y'all kind of walk through that, and what kind of struggles come with that?
We've been playing doubleheaders all year. It's the same thing. We happened to get a W under the belt and then turn around. We've had quicker turnarounds throughout the year. So, but that's how it is. And we came here and got a tough draw, and I'm proud of the group, and we shattered expectations. So
Yeah, piggybacking off that, after the win, I could have told you our whole team had a lot of energy right after that game. Going up into the first inning, we know we're going to face great pitching, and it was going to be a dogfight. It didn't end up in our favor, but I early in the game, we were ready to play. So that's all that we can ask for.
anything else for the student athletes before we turn it over to coach? All right, we'll take a question for coach.
Coach, what do you see Job Hartle and Sean Silver tonight on the mound?
They're outstanding. They don't give in. They execute. I was telling Coach Richie, our pitching coach, that I've quite yet to see a staff outside of playing the big leagues that guys can actually execute balls in the zone as much as they do, even to force swings with no contact, and also to make you chase balls that are in the zone so that leave the zone so late. And it's really hard to stay disciplined. It's easier from the naked eye from the side and saying, "Oh, we'll take that pitch," but there is no patterns for those guys. The kid that started the game, I play with Cliff Lee, and that's kind of a comp to me. That's kind of what he looks like. I know that's a high comp, but he's got a long future. The other kid that came in, the 51 kid, he's Sullivan. He's just, I think it's like the invisible fastball. It's like you can't see it. Jordan Smith will swing at balls down, but rarely does he swing at one that's up and out that far. No, great stuff.
You said Wake was the best team you've seen all year. Is the pitching the part that's most overwhelming, or the part that's most special?
I think you can't just play single to single. You can't play station to station with them. I think they're the greatest at holding runners, but then again, you gotta get on base, and put themselves in that situation. So our game plan was to get guys in scoring position. I think that's kind of where we lost that first inning mojo, where looking back, double steal might have changed things a little bit. He sacked by center field, maybe just getting 1 point across, but I think, to single that back to is that their pitching is, they trap you and they're not going to do too much, and their offense is phenomenal. I mean, everyone in their lineup, can swing the bat, and I always keep telling like Tony Hawk, but Tommy Hawk, that kid is he gets the stuff going,
Anything else? Yeah.
Hey, Coach, obviously returning your alma mater, this is your first season back to play, obviously an illustrious career, maybe you'd love to come back to your school. What's it meant for you, how do you guys, and obviously building off of this year, what's to come with the Jordan Mason base year?
I think you can't really say, okay, well, just because we got here next year, we have to be in the same spot next year. I think what it does is it gives us a building component to where we can say, okay, this is kind of how my style of play is. Kind of the personalities we have in the clubhouse, and the execution part of that. Definitely something to look forward in building a program at Mason that really is long overdue for having successful seasons. I think that, I have a particular style of playing. The coaches align with that. And I think that's the way kind of we want to go. Plus, I got a tremendous support staff, being a first year head coach, like there's things you're going to do wrong and there's things you're going to do right, and I think that, learning education part of that is, it's been taught to me by, especially, senior support staff.
Excuse me, where this is going.
Me and you both.
Back in the day, George Mason was in the CAA and they kind of ruled the roost, and no slight to Coach Brown, who's there a long time. But do you feel that the change in conference and the change in mentality, and especially your team's performance this weekend, will help with further recruiting? Because obviously these guys bought into the program and what's building. So, where do you go from here? Is it good that you're in a different conference and you're winning a different way? You're making the tournament.
Yeah, so I think to answer your question, good question. Pitching, speed, defense is my philosophy in winning baseball games, and I feel like if you could play that way, you kind of put the pressure on other teams. So, if you look at our staff, our team, we play a lot of freshmen, and that's an opportunity to obviously in the recruiting component of it. But our style, I don't know if it's much that I played the CAA when I was at Mason, but A10 is more of offense and less pitching. So there's a kind of lopsided, curve of things, but I think we're a more balanced team, and we have some gritty guys that literally just, they lay down their lives for each other day in and day out. And I think that's the biggest thing that I can, come across with them on that front. So they're gritty. That's the only thing I can say. I've gotten so many compliments. I got a compliment from Robbie Bond, the Wake Forest staff, this, that, and the other, but it's a long time coming. We're going to get there. And we're going to look up and say, what, we're not going to be the underdogs or the Cinderella story every year. This is a building curve for us.
Anything else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys all weekend. Thanks.
Coach.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
I don't know.
Yep, that looks right.
Yeah, you're right. It's on a different place. Oh, yeah, she's in the ground.
Everybody should have permissions to record now. Wake Forest should be in here in a couple minutes. Right now, all I know is Pierce. I don't know who the second player is. I'll let you know as soon as Ryan texts me.
That's a year weekend. Is there a conference weekend, at least like 37 runs in 2 games?
They scored, well, not here, but they scored 40 at Pitt in 2 games. After getting shut out 3-0 in my first round. You know, I know you guys are big fan, Randy. You guys, probably offensive. You guys might be the first I've ever seen. That's probably offensive.
Yeah, I think Ryan just printed to like a copier downstairs, so. Wow.
Big fan. I think they're gonna do that at the final.
So is here. Not yet. I think he was still getting the guy. John is the second player.
Good question. Andy, are these good for next weekend or not?
That is a good question. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
I wonder if they were gonna get in the comment.
Oh, that you could have probably.
Easily, no one's gonna be like, hold 1 second.
I haven't seen you.
Is your name Sean Prince? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you could be careful, you might fire off on Twitter. All weekend and all throughout the season. College sports, why? You let it go up here, in case he's looking.
Yeah, I just started calling. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's.
Stadium inside.
What was it? You know what I mean? That's fair. That's fair.
Come on, going Conway.
Because in my mind, I was like, what if in a perfect world, Connor O'Neill had like a PJ?
I don't want to spend really flying 6 to 7 hours driving in a car. And
That's what I'm talking about in an ideal world, like we could hop in the PJ and go to Conway and then have the PJ tour.
stop calling it a PJ. What is it? Climate change.
That's a thing.
Completely a thing. Is my aging you guys out?
No, I think they're visiting your
Yeah, this week.
Oh, my God.
He left it sitting on it.
Normal people. East Carolina Fire and different group of teachers. That's what you rank it for.
Shit.
So 7-3 and the 8. They had
That's
a basic look at. And it's moving to the one.
To be clear, my flight tomorrow is Southwest. Southwest Airlines, not even get that money here in Baltimore. The flag, but like, what to get away from.
I know that.
Promise.
But that, you see, maybe now that was, he told me that after 1 year, his name had to use growth, so natural life. That he was offered to take out, or that he was no one on the bottom, and particular quadruple his salary, he turned it down. Now, I don't know if any of that's embellishing, but I knew this is the coach for there, I saw it.
You see if we can get more than 4, we think maybe that's what sneak a game change.
Young Will, my producer, said that he wanted to take Miami straight up in the bet. I'm like, I will take that bet. Let's, I'll take that 3 line.
That team is just so.
Yeah, every time he enrolled that, it's been in the world as well. He wanted to bet on the Panthers and we played the Buccaneers on one game. At the end of the year.
That would be good. Sounds like a big number comes in ties and then just out. I guess.
You got the prettier face.
It's not true.
Tommy was the one that got me, by the way. So-
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. He couldn't wait.
Congratulations to the Winston-Salem Regional Champion Wake Forest. Tonight we have head coach Tom Walter, as well as student athletes, Pierce Bennett and Josh Hartle. We will begin with an opening statement, coach, and then take questions for the student athletes.
Thanks, guys. So obviously just super proud of this club and what we've accomplished to date. I think we all know we've got more work to do, but we're going to sit here and enjoy this one for 24 or 36 hours and then get back to work on Tuesday. But everything that's been building, starting with last year, and the leadership group we have, Pierce Bennett and Adam Cesari being right at the heart of that. And of course, Josh Hartle and his class as well, and Brock Wilkin and Cam Manassi in the junior class. So it's really just been a complete kind of transformation of our program over the last couple of years. And we're just really proud. And the momentum of this season, started early in the year, but it kind of built as the season went on. And the culmination of that is what you saw today, just an electric crowd, total support from the town of Winston-Salem. Our fan experience people did an amazing job all weekend, the Rhino support staff people, the video content people, Ryan Sosik and his team, just kind of a total team effort. My mom says all the time, it takes a village, and she's right. To accomplish what we've accomplished so far in this year, it takes people coming together to do great things. And that's what we've experienced all year. As far as the ball game today, Josh Hartle obviously came out, gave us a great start, made big pitches when he needed to. Walked a few too many guys than he's used to, but found a way to make pitches. And it's tough. We had a late night last night, and he's in the dugout a couple times for long innings, and it's never easy as a pitcher when you're kind of out of rhythm like that. But was really proud of the way Josh battled. And what can I say about Pierce Bennett? I mean, they'll talk about the weekend he had. I don't know what he was, 9 for 11 or something on the weekend. It was pretty incredible just to put the string of at-bats together like he did this weekend. So again, proud of our club, proud of these two guys on my left, and we can't wait to play next weekend.
Start with Connor and then we'll go to Estes and then John.
For both players, I don't know if you guys buy into the mega statement side of things, but outscoring teams in 3 games, 48-7. It's pretty impressive gap.
was it in the cards at all that you wanted to come out and play like a number one seed, or was it just go out and play our game?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously very impressive, the way we played, and I think we're just trying to go out and play our game, and we're not gonna let the foot off the gas, and I think that's what we did the whole weekend, so it was good.
Yeah, agreeing with that point. We could talk about playing the game all the time and kind of, yeah, so this weekend was nothing different than that. We're just trying our hardest to compete every at bat. It ended up just very favorable in our way.
Pierce, I mean, Wall kind of said it himself, but with, the team hitting wise and the run speed for himself as well, but in last night, kind of this morning's game and then tonight's game has jumped on Maryland quickly, and then you jumped on George Mason quickly. How big was it to do that in order to set yourself up for the rest of the game?
Yeah, it's always huge to jump out to an early start, kind of get the momentum in our dugout right away. And like college baseball is all momentum based. So kind of getting the crowd into it early, getting the team kind of up and going. So that was huge. And kind of it allows us to just cruise into that momentum just throughout the whole game. Helps out our pitching staff as well. I can attest to that, but just knowing you have the run support behind.
Can you guys carry momentum to the super regional? I know you guys carry momentum from series to series all year, but is that, especially at home, you'll be at home, can you do that? You think that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, playing with that confidence that we've had the whole season, I think doing it in a regional against, solid teams, I think we can carry that, to the super for sure.
We'll go second row left and then less.
Yeah, she kind of had a slow start with the first two guys, kind of missed out with the field in there, and then how did you kind of make that switch to get the next two guys up and keep it going?
Yeah, I just tried to take a deep breath and soak it all in. I looked around the crowd. I was like, well, this is not how, I drew it up, getting the first two guys on in front of, hometown crowd. But I just try to take a step back and just do what, I normally do, is just try and make pitches.
Pierce, opposing teams obviously are trying hard not to let, Nick and Brock do a lot of damage. How wonderful is it to be batting in that, those two spots, you and Justin and Johnson are batting, and behind those guys, and they're constantly getting walking behind you, and you're constantly seeing the bases like with a bunch of guys on it.
Yeah, so that's awesome. There's no doubt about that, because they have to pitch to somebody eventually, you know what I mean? So if Brock and Kurtz aren't doing it necessarily, hopefully me and JJ can pick them up right behind them. That's just what's beautiful with our lineup, how it's set up. One guy's either having an off day or getting pitched around. We got guys behind that can just pick you right up.
Josh, I'm curious what your schedule looked like yesterday, because outcome determined how early you were going to start today. I don't know what your sleep schedule was like.
Yeah, I woke up at 8 o'clock. So usually the day before I pitch, I wake up early. So I can go to bed, earlier that night. But I was up later, everybody else was, so, there's no excuse, I was flat today. I don't think there was any reason that was the case, for having a bad sleep schedule. I slept in this morning late, so, yeah, I mean, it was off schedule, but it was okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to give you a call like that. Were you here for the whole movie last night?
He was locked in.
Josh, I mean, after you did come out, having a guy like Sean Sullivan come in with 3 innings, he shut out 7 of the 11 batters he faced. How much confidence do you have to know that there's a guy who can go long like that behind you? Also, how big is it for Sean coming back off the injury to have a performance like that?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, having Sean, in our bullpen, usually he'd be our starter, but having him in the bullpen is just lethal, and it's really cool for having him come in behind me, have that extreme confidence in him to go out and finish the whole game.
What's your guys take on the freshman shortstop? He's played out 60 games and stuff like that. I mean, I know he would like to hit a little bit better, but what's your guys take on him so far as a freshman?
He's a baller. There's no doubt about it. He's got a vacuum of a glove.
Okay.
And it's not easy to start as a freshman at all, especially the #1 team in the country. It's not easy at all. So I tip my cap to him every single day for playing the hard position on the field as a freshman and doing a damn good job of it. And he's had quality at bats all year. It's just, he's a freshman, he's young, he's got a lot of time to learn. He's gonna be I think, first rounder.
Josh, did you give him any advice? You were a freshman last year, obviously. Did you tell him anything about how you know, kind of how it has to go? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I knew, he was gonna have some failures, I had a ton last year. So, he was gonna have those, and I think just trying to get off of that as soon as possible, that's only gonna make you better. And, it'll make you better in the long run.
A little less than Josh.
Gosh, it seemed like, after like a 4 pitch walk, I believe it was before fingers come out to look at you. Is everything okay? What was going on there?
Yeah, everything's good. My athletic trainer asked me how I felt, and I was like, oh, I'm a little sore, my lap, just per usual. And, I had to come out after the 4 pitch walk. It's kind of uncharacteristic of me. I had 3 of those, I think, tonight. It's unacceptable, but, no, I'm good. I'll be ready to go this weekend for sure.
Josh?
Yeah, it's how you got to sleep in a little bit. Pierce, I just gotta know, like, how did last night affect the routine today? And also, considering where you're from, were the people that were rooting completely for you, or maybe rooting for a team that wears red?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess last night I didn't get to bed till like 3:30. But I mean, luckily we won, so we got to sleep in a little more, so that worked out. So I got to like sleep in till 2, so that was fine. As for the whole Maryland situation thing, I have basically all the people that all my buddies rooting for Wake. No one likes Maryland that much. So it was good to kind of get a revenge game in from last year, because I had a lot of home people there for those games, and that was kind of disappointing how we lost that. So it's kind of great to have it the other way around this time.
Walk me through the celebration. I mean, this is kind of a business-like but fun team at the same time. You guys think you're gonna have a lot to celebrate coming up? What was this like, and what was it like to go through that on the field tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. We have guys that play their cellies, during the game. So we were kind of planning it, throughout the game, what we were gonna do. We're trying to keep it professional, but we're trying to have fun at the same time. I think that's what we do best. So I think we did a good job of that.
Last one, the student athletes back left.
Pierce, forgive me if you've already told these guys, but where does the double pistol celebration come from?
That's a weird story, kind of. So we play like this game called hacky sack, like volleyball in our locker room a lot. And I kind of started whipping that out during that for my celebrations when I get a point. And then actually Chase, it's like, you should pull them out one at a time and do as your double selling. And I was like, okay. And then I guess it called on. So yeah, weird story. But.
I guess, if you wanna, Sosa take you guys out, and we'll take questions for coach.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks, guys.
That's coach.
Congrats to you. Thank you, Josh.
So thanks, coach.
Thanks, Doc. Okay, question for Walt.
What do you think about the question? Year has gone on. Does he improve?
He has. His at-bats have gotten better and better. He's had huge hits for us. Hit the big home run against Boston College. Had a big home run against Miami in that series. So, and he had a big hit the other night, that single up the middle that kind of spread that game out against Maryland, a big situation. If he hits into a double play there, that changes that whole game. So, really proud of how he's developed. And, I know we still battle some body language stuff with him. He needs to be, but that's, kind of just normal freshman stuff. But the unbelievable thing about him is he never lets it affect his defense. He just kind of keeps going out there and making plays.
I think just 7 errors.
Yeah, 7 errors on the year, and it's been, and again, he's made some really hard plays look easy. He gets to more balls than most people does. He makes the slow roller play really good. So there's really no shortcoming in his game, and I think he's going to be a really good offensive player, really early in his career. So we're excited about him for sure.
Will Connor than Essex done less?
Well, kind of the same thing I started those guys with. I don't know if sending a message with the run differential is in the cards. I don't know if you needed to make a statement, but what does that show about this team being able to run through regional plus 40?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think we're too caught up in run differential right now. It's about W's and L's, and the way we look at it, we were 3-0 or 3-0 this weekend. So again, the runs, it's nice. It's a feather in the cap, certainly. But, we know no matter who we play next weekend, whether it's Boston College or Alabama, that it's not going to be like that. And we're going to be in tight games next weekend, and we're going to have to make plays and get big hits, and probably going to have to play from behind next weekend, which we really didn't do at all this weekend. And that's okay. We're ready for that. We're kind of built for that.
Coach, how impactful is it to get those 3 innings for Sean Sullivan? Also at level of performance out of him, but also getting Reed an inning at the end of the game.
huge on both counts. You know, we wanted to continue to build Sean's pitch count a little bit. He went a little more than he did against Miami last week. So we could start him if we want to. You know, we haven't decided what we're going to do with our pitching next week. I think a lot of it will depend on whether we're Friday, Sunday or Saturday, Monday. I think a lot will depend on how Rhett and Josh recover throughout the week. I mean, certainly if we're Friday to Sunday, we'd prefer to throw Rhett on Friday and Josh on Saturday. But again, if their work during the week tells us that we should give them that extra day and start Seth Keno or even Sean Sullivan on Friday, you know, it's good to have those really great options. So again, we'll see based on which days we play next weekend and how their Sean and Rhett's recovery is going, or Josh and Rhett's recovery is going. Sorry, you know, we'll make some decisions on next weekend's pitching at that time.
Tom, if I remember correctly, you were able to successfully avoid the Gatorade bucket when you won the ACC championship with Florida State. Were you able to, it doesn't look like you're able to evade it this time. What was the celebration like for you and getting to experience all this with the team?
Well, it's just really special. Again, this is a special group of guys, as you guys have witnessed all year, really from day one. You know, the bond on this team is like nothing I've ever seen. And it was really good last year and this year it's even better. So again, you know, we've added some transfer pieces that have just kind of fit right in seamlessly into our team culture. Our guys in this room right here, our guys work really hard at our team culture and they spend a lot of time with one another. They're in this clubhouse together, you know, playing volley sack as they call it, or cornhole or chess or whatever it might be. So I'm just really proud of how they've come together and win or lose next weekend. This has been a great ride.
Kind of on the note of celebrations, you said we'll enjoy this for 24, 36 hours. When you leave here, I think maybe we've got lineups for Boston College, Alabama. There's been a bit of a delay. Are you going to be watching that, be locked in tonight, or how do you enjoy this one?
Well, I'll be watching that game tonight. That's for sure. Very closely. So again, you know, it's just a matter of it was really special for me to enjoy it with my son, Chase. You know, that's a special moment for me. And so you know, again, we'll wake up tomorrow morning, we'll celebrate a little bit more, and then Tuesday we'll get back to work.
How locked in is Chase?
He's locked in. I mean, he's fired up about this team and being a part of this team. You know, he hates that his season ended a little early, but he's a big part of our energy and our team culture.
Less than John than Essex.
How impressed are you with the turnout of the Wake Forest fans and the lines of folks coming in tonight and how they turned out last night, and then just here all weekend in record-setting numbers to support this team? Is this more than you ever could have maybe even envisioned?
No question. I mean, 2017, we had a really good crowd and an electric, what I considered back then to be an electric regional. And this, you know, outpaced that by a lot, you know. So again, give credit to John Curry. You know, since John's been the athletic director here, we've moved the needle in every one of our kind of fan-facing experience, you know, whatever terminology you want to use, whether it's video content or sports information or, you know, game day experience, you know, the list goes on, merchandise, concessions, the whole 9 yards. I mean, everything has kind of ratcheted up. And, you know, part of that is the success we've had in all our sports. You know, the football success has been a big part of that. Basketball, you know, having back-to-back really good years. And so you're seeing the crowds build at the Joel, you're seeing the crowds build at Truist. And then it kind of, you know, bled over into our sport. Women's golf just wins a national championship. I mean, you know, we're a university that's got a proud heritage in all our sports.
One of the impressive things about you guys with the balance between offense and pitching, is that something that you're surprised at all, or do you try to not think about it and just kind of play? That's one of the things. What do you think about the balance?
Well, I love it. I mean, again, we can beat you in different ways. You know, if we need to win 3-2, we can do that. Or 4-3, we pitch and play enough defense to do that. Got to win 10-8, we can do that too. So again, I just love in years past, we've sometimes been a little too one-dimensional as a team, but this is not a team. You know, as I tell our guys all the time, what we do is we smother you with pitching and defense and we get big hits. I mean, that's who we are. And you know, hopefully we'll show that next weekend.
Anything else for Coach?
Locked in the program record for single season wins a week ago or so, but getting to 50 reflect on house, so.
Yeah, I was just looking at the box score and it said 50-10. I was like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, again, I'm just so proud of this team and the consistency they've shown all year, the toughness they've shown all year. So again, hopefully, we continue our streak of winning series next weekend.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Tommy, you guys are up 10-1.
What? 4 hours, so there was 1 hour.